What's up, PioneerDrone.com. Today I'm going to be doing a flight with my V303 Seeker from WLToys. Just received a new receiver in the mail. Big shout out to Kiwi Surf from the RC Group's forum. I was able to get a new receiver from him, and going to take this bad boy for a test flight, see how it handles. Arming the motors, so the compass has already been calibrated. Green solid light, and we got liftoff. So I did a little indoor test with the props off, just moving from room to room in my house. See exactly what's going on with the lights and how this thing would respond as far as range goes. So we're pretty far out there. Solid green light, so very excited about this. Looks like it was the transmitter that was the issue this whole time, which was causing the quadcopter to come unbind with the transmitter, go into a headless mode, and then become unflyable. After taking the transmitter apart, saw that the board that connects the antenna to the transmitter board looked like it was old, it was rusty, it was used, and it had a bad solder point on it. I tried to fix it, but didn't have much success. But this new controller seems to have solved the problem. Don't want to get too carried away because only a few minutes into the flight here, but so far so good. Got a little bit of a wobble, but that has nothing to do with the transmitter. Looks like there's something vibrating. One of my blades has got a little bit of a rip in it, or a tear. Flipped over on me. I had the blades on wrong after taking it off a couple weeks ago, and waiting for GearBest to send me some new DJI self-tightening blades. So don't like the sound of that rattle. I'm gonna check all the screws later. I pulled off all the tape on there. I had some tape covering up some of the ventilation holes, just to keep out some of the dust from where I'm flying at. So I pulled that off to see if that would change the vibration, but it sounds like it's definitely got something to do with that propeller and the chip. So again, we're going to go out for a range test here. About 50, 60 meters to the other side of the baseball field. Turn around, come back, no issues. So feeling real good and confident about it. Next step is I'm going to go ahead and try putting on the gimbal. Got a Wakira 2D 3-axis gimbal, or 2-axis gimbal, I believe. And then I have SJ4000 camera that I intend to put on there, do some in-flight video. Bring it in, check on the lights. Everything looks good. Hovers well. This thing holds its position great. You know, in the short range that I could fly it for the past month and a half, no complaints on the way that it handles, just the issue that I was having with the transmitter. But this thing's a great flyer. Definitely worth the money if you can get a good one. There are a lot of people having issues with them, but looks like they're making a transitional phase between the old flight controller, new flight controller, a new transmitter, and new receiver. It just kind of looks like I got caught in the middle between the switch. Got a quadcopter with some mixed match parts, but luckily I was able to find this controller. Not many of them out there, and we're flying again. I just saw a little bit of a red light there. Don't think it's anything to be concerned about. some vibration going on with that chip missing out of the propeller. It's pretty small, it's not that big of a gash, but I still think it's, you know, it's definitely going to cause a vibration issue. Which I can hear when I pitch down. And I'll probably need to do a once over on all the hex bolts and make sure that none of them come loose. Just get a good look at it overhead here. So, very impressed with it now, especially that I can get some farther range than what I was getting before. You know, I was getting 5 to 6 airs on the transmitter. Just unflyable. Wasn't good experience, but that seems to be solved. The new controller bound to the quadcopter with the ease. We'll take it up for a little bit of a height test here. I don't know if you can see through on the camera, but solid green light. This thing is holding its position excellent. Come back down, probably about 100 feet or so in the air. It's cold. There's a little bit of a wind coming in from my left side. Not too much, not enough to really affect the quadcopter, I would say, but hover's great. So glad to be flying again. Glad this is issue's been corrected. Now I can move on to putting on my gimbal and get back to taking some video with it, which is originally what I purchased this to do. So that ought to be fun. Fly over into the next field. But excellent range. Hovering nice. I had this trimmed up a little bit to compensate for the old controller and wind previous flights. So we're going on roughly about, I don't know, 5 to 6 minutes flight time, maybe a little bit longer, but I think it's proven its point. Controller works. Also received a receiver with the controller, with the transmitter. I didn't have to install it. It bound up to the receiver that I have in here, which was nice. Probably need to recalibrate the controller just one time. If you don't know how to do that, I put a video online on how to do it per the instructions that came with it. I know it's a little difficult to find some info out there, but excited to fly this and take some video. So do one more little range test here. We'll go into the next field again. Definitely don't like that rattle sound, so we'll get that checked out before we go throwing the camera and the gimbal on there. And hopefully those new blades will be here soon. Since Gearbest couldn't deliver on my purchase, it's been about 30 days. I went ahead and ordered it overnight prime through Amazon. Also came with some prop guards too, so but they're self-tightening. get another look at this thing in close here. Very cool. So, if you've never seen it before, it's identical to the X380 Detect. Maybe that's the direction that they're moving in with this. Now that they got the XK Detect board in there. Flight controller, receiver, and transmitter. Not too terribly bummed that I got the old transmitter. Now that it works, I mean, it ended up costing me more than my original purchase. GearBest has been terrible with their customer service as far as, you know, trying to find a resolution for sending me a defective quadcopter. But luckily I was able to find someone cool enough online to sell me a transmitter and get this thing back in the air. And so, first night flight, so hopefully in the next couple days be able to take it out. And we're running out of battery juice. You can tell when the red light starts blinking on the back. So bringing it in for a nice soft landing here. And never had any issues with my quadcopter or the V303 in landing. It lands nice, never tipped over. Some people have reported theirs tipping over. Just got to make sure you hold down on the throttle for about 5 to 6 seconds for the propellers to stop spinning. Red lights indicator there's no binding, plus, you know, obviously the battery's dead. But this is the V303 Seeker. Got a new breath of life in this thing. Excited to see what the future holds. Slapping a camera on this and flying this thing, get some better props. Do a once over on it, make sure all my hex bolts are in there. And be close to more videos in the future. So if this video helped you out anyway, liked it, be sure to slap a like on it and subscribe to the channel for more upcoming videos in the future.